Hi, my name is Priya Sudhai, and I'm a paralegal student with a background in law and society. Today, I will be talking about workplace rights. So, whether you are working a part-time job, attending school, you're fully employed, or you're starting off your first job, understanding your workplace rights is essential. Many employees are unaware of the legal protections available to them, which can make it difficult to recognize when those rights have been violated. So today I will shortly outline and discuss employment standards, um, workplace discrimination and harassment, health and safety rights, wrongful dismissal, human rights protections, and what to do if your rights are violated. So, workplace rights are legal protections that govern the relationship between employers and employees. In Ontario, workplace rights come from several sources, and this includes the Employment Standards Act, Occupational Health and Safety Act, the Human Rights Code, employment contracts, and also from common law. These laws essentially establish the minimum standards that employers must follow. So, the Employment Standards Act sets out minimum workplace standards. For example, employees are generally entitled to receive at least the provincial minimum wage, and employers cannot pay less than the minimum unless a specific exemption is applied. Employees must also receive daily rest periods, time off between shifts, and weekly or bi-weekly rest periods. Most employees are also entitled to overtime pay after working more than 44 hours a week. The overtime rate is 1.5 times the employee's regular rate of pay. So, for example, if an employee earns $20 an hour, overtime would be paid at $30 an hour. Employees are also entitled to public holidays and also vacation entitlements. So, at least 2 weeks of vacation after 1 year of employment, and at least 3 weeks after 5 years with the same employer. Moving on to workplace harassment and violence. So, every worker deserves a safe and respectful workplace. Under the Occupational Health and Safety Act, employers must take reasonable steps to protect workers from workplace harassment and violence. Now, workplace harassment includes repeated offensive comments, humiliation, verbal abuse, sexual harassment, and bullying. Examples include making an inappropriate joke, repeatedly insulting an employee, and making unwelcome sexual comments. Now, workplace violence includes physical assault, threats of violence, attempted force, physical force. From this, employees and employers are required to develop workplace policies, investigate complaints, and take corrective action where appropriate. In terms of human rights in the workplace, the Ontario Human Rights Code protects individuals from discrimination. Employers cannot discriminate based on protected grounds such as race, citizenship, creed, sex, sexual orientation, age, and so forth. For example, if an employer refuses to hire someone because they use a wheelchair despite being fully qualified for the job, this could constitute as discrimination based on disability. Upon this, employers have a legal duty to accommodate employees to the point of undue hardship. And accommodations may include modifying work schedules, accessible workplaces, providing medical leave accommodations, and modifying their duties. Moving forward, one of the most important workplace rights is the right to refuse unsafe work. If a worker has reason to believe that work is likely to endanger their health or safety, they may have the right to refuse the work. Examples may include dangerous equipment, exposure to hazardous substances, and unsafe work procedures. The Occupational Health and Safety Act establishes a specific process for work refusals. Generally, the concern is first reported to the employer or supervisor. However, if the issue is not resolved, further investigation may occur, including involvement from workplace representatives or government inspectors. Ultimately, employees cannot be disciplined simply for exercising their health and safety rights in good faith. Let's move on to termination and wrongful dismissal. Many employees mistakenly believe that they can only be fired if they do something wrong. In Ontario, employers may terminate employment without cause in many circumstances. However, employers must generally provide a notice of termination, pay in lieu of notice, and severance pay where applicable. Termination with cause occurs when an employee has engaged in serious misconduct. Examples may include theft, fraud, serious insubordination, violence. In comparison, wrongful dismissal may occur when an employee is terminated without proper notice, an employment contract violates legal requirements, and required compensation is not provided. For employees who believe that they have been wrongfully dismissed, should seek legal advice promptly because limitation periods may apply. Now, considering all this information, what should employees do if their rights are violated? If you believe your workplace rights have been violated, consider the following steps. Step 1. Document everything. This includes keeping records of emails, text messages, schedules, pay stubs, performance reviews, and witness information. Documentation can become important evidence later. Step 2. Review workplace policies. Many employers have policies regarding harassment, discrimination, health and safety, and complaint procedures. Essentially, understanding these policies may help determine the next steps. Step 3. Report the issue. Where appropriate, report concerns to a supervisor, human resources, health and safety representatives, or even a union representative. And lastly, step 4. Seek legal information. Employees may obtain information from employment lawyers, paralegals where permitted in law, government agencies, and human rights organizations. Acting promptly is important because legal deadlines may apply. To conclude, understanding workplace rights is one of the most important steps employees can take to protect themselves. The workplace can be complex, but the law provides important safeguards to promote fairness, dignity, and safety. As a paralegal student, one lesson that stands out is that many workplace disputes arise not because rights do not exist, but because employees do not know these rights exist. Education is often the first step towards empowerment. Thank you for listening to today's, and I hope you've learned. Thank you for listening today. I hope you learned something in this session. Until next time, stay informed, know your rights, and advocate for yourself in the workplace.